Welcome to the Litterbox, where we dig through the mess to find the stories, laughs, and unexpected moments that make life interesting. I'm Trent Anderson, your guide through the clutter, ready to uncover something fun today. Let's get it started. Welcome to the Litterbox, episode 4, coming at you live. Got my guest, Mr. Johnny B himself. Mr. Johnny?
What's up, brother?
Welcome to the show, man. Glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Man, so this is something that I've done. I've had some unreal guests on the show. I've had Mr. Johnny Como to start it off, Mr. Keith Bass, Mr. Ashley Elam. Now I got Johnny B. I got the all-star lineup going on right here. I'm happy to have you. And I always want to dive into something right out the gate. It's something I always do. It's a little thing I like to do. I like to talk about where I met my guest. And he could call me out and say I'm doing this wrong, and I'm going to take a shot here. Middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. We had a trailer outside of the cafeteria. I don't know if there's a flood or what the hell we were doing in a trailer, Johnny, but I remember you being in there. 6th, 7th grade, what was it?
8th grade. 8th grade.
Was it 8th grade? 8th grade, Miss Rogers. I can't tell you what I ate for breakfast yesterday, but I can tell you when Johnny B walked in. And you know what? He showed up to that trailer when he first met us and started freestyling. Eminem in the building. Johnny, what the hell was going on? what was going on? I remember you rapping in there, and I swear on everything I love, I remember you leaving that period, and you had a gang of people following you. I'm telling you, dude, it was like Tiger Woods walking around school. Everybody loved Johnny. He was rapping. You was a big thing coming into school.
I still do that to this day. I walk into grocery stores. I just start freestyling. I walk everywhere I go. I walk into banks. I go, hey, I'm looking for a loan. And I just start going off.
Dude, it was great, and I really do remember that, and it was great. So that being said, that's where I met Johnny. I'm glad to have him on the show. He's a really successful barber, and this is going to be a good show today, guys. Stay tuned for this. But let me start off by my weekend this past weekend. I don't know if you know who Stell Cracker is.
I know he is.
Stell Cracker embarrassed me, and I was a Stell Cracker fan. You embarrassed me. I saw Stell Cracker. I walked up to Stell Cracker with 2 cold beers, and I said, look, I told myself, I don't know why I want to do this. I want to challenge Stell Cracker to a shotgun and beer contest. Gave him a beer, got my beer. The guy embarrassed me. He shotgunned a beer in .003 seconds. Johnny, is that even possible?
Impossible.
I think he cheated.
Cheated.
I didn't call him out. All my friends said he might have cheated. He embarrassed me. It took me like a minute and a half to chug this beer. It was bad. People are like, Trent, you probably should never do that again. Y'all are right. I probably should never do that again. But I got to meet Stell Cracker. I felt like that was the least way to,
it's pretty cool.
Break the ice, get into it. Also, he pulled out my chest hair, too.
Oh.
I told him, hey, I didn't know this wig was real. And I kind of poked at it, and he goes, is this real? And he pulled a little chest hair out.
Oh.
So Stell Cracker, we're not the best of buds right now. He pulled out a little chest hair missing, and
don't grow any like me. I don't know.
Yeah, he wouldn't have had nothing to pull.
Nothing, dude.
Yeah, so a little chest hair missing, and I got embarrassed. So thanks, Stell Cracker. I did buy your about $50 in your worth of hot sauce, so I guess we're doing okay. But anyways, so that was a good little embarrassing moment for me. But let's get into the meat and potatoes, like I like to say, Johnny. And I want to know where this all started. I want to know, people see you in this barbershop doing big things, and where did it all begin? I want you to just shoot us straight from the very beginning.
Okay. Early 20s, living in Houston.
Yeah.
Didn't really have much direction. I had a bunch of little menial jobs doing this and that.
Yep.
A ton of them. And I didn't really know what I was doing with myself. I kind of got, at that time, I was really big into music. I had a group of friends that was trying to play guitar and stuff like that. That was really my focus at the time. Mm-hmm. And years just kind of passed by with not really having focused on a career. And I kind of found myself in a bad spot in my mid-20s, mid to late 20s there. And my grandmother caught wind of this. I was kind of living on people's couches. Yeah, I pride myself in that I always worked, always had a job. You know, I'd have a roommate or whatever else. But I was in a low spot and didn't really have a place to go. And my grandmother reached out and said, hey, why don't you come here to Beaumont and come stay with me and your Uncle Troy. And, so I went and did that. I think I got a little job like at Market Basket or something like that. Mm-hmm. And during the meantime, whenever I was off and I had nothing to do, I hung out with Troy. He was a barber. He's an amazing barber to this day. And he let me go hang out with him and watch how all that went by. And that's how I would just spend my day, just at his barbershop, hanging out, just figuring out, just seeing what was going on. And one morning he woke me up and he was like, yo, let's go. I'm going to bring you to, I don't think he told me where we were going to go.
You didn't know where you were going?
Yeah, he's like, just come on, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
He brings me to a place, it was kind of this beaten down building, didn't really have any signs or anything in front of it. We walk inside, there's like church pews, and we go into this place, which I assumed was a barbershop, which is another barbershop. And he introduced me to this guy named Mr. Rob, who come to find out he was the instructor there.
Okay.
And kind of started talking to me, and Mr. Rob was kind of like, hey, I heard you want to be a barber. And I had never... I don't think I'd ever indicated that in any way. I'd never.
He said, "I never signed up for this."
Yeah, exactly. And by the end of talking to him, I had a loan and a grant, and walked out of there, and I was going to barber school. And the next morning, I woke up. Troy gave me a bunch of his old clippers.
Yeah,
that was a humongous mistake. You walk into barber school. So barber school is unlike, I don't know how other vocational schools are. I imagine there's some book work or something like that. But when you walk into barber school, normally it takes about a month or two. They give you a barber kit, and it comes with clippers and all that kind of stuff, and then you start cutting hair. But when you walk in with clippers...
They expect you to be able to cut hair.
I don't know if they expect you to cut hair, but you're going to cut hair. That's what they did. So they gave me a station.
Yeah.
I plugged my stuff in, got it all looking nice and neat and everything else, and he put a guy in my chair, this old black guy, he put in my chair, and the guy wanted his beard trimmed. Closest I ever been to a man's face in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And a guy wanted to cut his mustache above his lip a little bit. So I did it for him, and I mean, literally, whenever that haircut started... Are you
nervous?
Oh, I don't know. You know what, man? I'm going to be honest. I don't think I was nervous. I think that... Yeah, I was kind of thrusted in this situation, and I didn't even know how to turn the clippers on. I literally turned around.
Give me a second, man.
I turned around. Literally, I tried how to put on this air that I knew what I was doing. I didn't want him to be scared. I knew that, and I was like, okay, well, I turned around. I figured out how to turn the clipper on, and I just kind of did.
Little did he know.
Yeah, little did he know the amateur that he was, the danger that he was in. But I got through that first experience, and then it was off and running. And after that, I was extremely enthusiastic about, hey, I want to cut hair, and I had sold gold for a little while. So I had to make cold calls.
I know about those gold guys.
Yeah, and I had to figure out how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I've always been kind of, you knew me in school.
Yep.
Kind of outgoing guy. Never
talk.
really met a stranger, just like yourself.
Just like me.
And
maybe I should have been a barber.
I think I've got a chair right now, dude. You could come right now.
That's scary. What if I show up with my clippers? Or am I cutting hair?
Hair, Bubba. No, you cutting hair.
So it's like, actually, you're not going to touch any of my people. Put that shit down.
But so I went through it, and right away I was like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it. And I was, hey, I'll cut that person's hair. People were asking, I had done some drawing, a lot of drawing when I was younger. I've always been into art, playing music and stuff like that. I always had that kind of ambition. Mm-hmm. And I kind of just looked at it like that. Sometimes people, I'll cut their hair and they'll be like, hey, you're the artist here. I don't want to use the word hate, but I dislike that. I don't like people that do art and that like to call themselves artists or get referred to like that.
Yeah.
So I
cringy.
Very cringy. But I kind of took it like that.
Yeah.
I've always worked with my hands. I've always been good with stuff like that, and so I got known really quickly. I could draw in people's hair. I discovered that. I kind of figured out how the hair growth was and stuff like that. And people would come in and say, hey, can you draw a Jumpman in the back of my head?
Yeah,
I remember this chick came in, she was like, hey, can you draw a Jumpman, like a Jordan symbol in the back of my hair? And I was like, oh, I've done that a million times. Like, yeah, I could do it. Never have I ever done anything like that. But I kind of, I bashfully admit that I kind of pulled it off a little bit. It came out. It looked like the symbol.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? That kind of gave me some confidence. And I said, you know what? I think that I could probably do this. And just like anything else, like playing guitar, doing anything else that you want to learn, I knew it was going to just take time. Mm-hmm. So I went there for 6 months. I went to my grandmother and I kind of said, hey, I think I want to go back home. I want to go back to Houston.
Yeah.
And I went back to Houston. I transferred from that Jay's college to another Jay's Technical Institute in Houston. That one, so the one in Beaumont wasn't that busy. The one in Houston was cram-packed.
It's like you're going to the major leagues.
Oh, it was.
You're going big time here.
It was something like that where it was just, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And I sat at that door, and anybody who walked in, I was like, hey man, I'll do it. And I destroyed some people's haircuts. I did, but that's how you have to learn. Everybody. You're not going to be good doing anything
right
the first time out.
You got to dive in there and get a little dirty. Well, I hate to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I want you to continue back where you were going, but in my head, I'm thinking, have you ever, in these early stages, did you ever butcher somebody pretty good to where you said, sir, not only is this on me, but I sincerely apologize, and you might have got a little butt chewing. That's happened, right?
I got threats. I was in a pretty rough area of Houston,
to say the least.
And there were guys that would come in, and the guy that they wanted might have been busy, and I was never that. I wasn't really in demand.
Right.
First off, I was the only white guy in the entire school.
Okay.
Primarily, it was a black man's. Black guys came in there a lot more than anything else.
Yeah.
So and I understand that now. You kind of want somebody has a big beard. You kind of look at that guy in the barber with the big beard, like, hey, that's the guy I want to cut my beard, even though that sometimes doesn't. It's not the case,
right?
But anyways, yeah. So I've had people come in and been like, hey, man, if you mess up my hair, then it's on. It's on, dude.
Oh,
it's
dude.
On. And I had to get through that.
Sweating and shaking while you're cutting them.
But I kind of used a little charm and talking and, I think admitting in the beginning and not trying to, even midway through, never saying like, oh, I'm the best. I hate using that. Again, I don't want to say hate, but I dislike that. I think that in your career, you have to always be learning. And if you're true to that, then you're never... The best doesn't exist.
Right.
You have to always be progressing. This
be humble a little bit.
Yeah, this is a subjective. What we do is subjective. Somebody might come in that I think, oh, I just killed that haircut. It's the best, and it's better than the picture that they even showed me. But maybe to them, that's not exactly what they wanted. You know, it's. I mean, that's going to happen to you. Mm-hmm. But you have to be humble. You have to understand that 27 out of 28 good haircuts, I never consider that. That's not a good day. You gotta bat 1,000 in this industry. You gotta try to put it all in, put it all out there every single time someone sits in your chair.
Well, no, and adding on to that one person that you do bad on, that one mouth is going to spread like a wildfire.
Oh, yeah.
That one person that you did bad on is going to tell 10 people.
Yeah.
And then so I get what you're saying. You got to make sure everybody's good. You want to make sure everybody's happy, because that's
you can't dwell on that though.
No.
You can't. As anybody that's starting off the career, you can't dwell on the mistakes. You have to try to learn from them. You have to try to figure out, early on I took a lot of pictures, a lot of videos of the things I did. And I think that's great, because I would go at the end of every night, I would go home, wherever I was staying at the time, especially when I was in school, and I would kind of look at my haircuts, and then I would look at Google. I'd Google other people's haircuts, and I would kind of admit to myself, like, hey, this wasn't good. I see this line here. This could have been blended out. I still try to do that now. I still try to have that discipline now.
Right.
To where it's, like I said, it's always getting better.
Yeah.
I feel like now I flow a lot easier. I can kind of talk and kind of not put on autopilot, but kind of I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know what to reach for to fix a problem, that sort of thing. But at the time, I didn't. So I got out of there. I'd heard about Texas Barber College. I heard that was the spot. Mm-hmm. And I transferred out. I think you had to get 2,000 hours at the time. So my last 500 hours or so, I went over there. and those guys were amazing. I had some really good instructors over there.
Yeah.
And they really they were more one-on-one, more personal. There was a lot more book work. And when I say book work, it has nothing to do with like, hey, this is a taper and this is how you do it.
Right.
You only can learn that by doing it. Experience is the only way that you're going to be able to. You have to really go and do. You can watch. You can't
YouTube and do all this. You got to get your hands dirty.
Now I tell people that come in and they're young at doing this, I tell them to stay away from YouTube. In the beginning, I was like, dude, that's gonna mess with you because this guy's gonna go, this is the way to do it. This guy's gonna say, this is the way to do it, and you're gonna have 500 ways to do one thing. You need to figure out the way that works best for you. And the end result, you need to figure out, okay, I could have done this better. How can I get this blend out? How can I do whatever it is that you're doing? Mm-hmm. And so anyway, so I transferred to Texas Barber College. I got out of there. I immediately started working in Sharpstown Mall. Another pretty rough little spot, but I got into a fantastic barbershop right across from Johnny Dang's jewelry store. Happenstance, I was at a place called JJ's.
Okay.
And these guys would come to work in chanclas and wife beaters, dude. They, it's a place where you could buy a torta. You'd be halfway through a haircut, and there'd be some guy with a cart. It was kind of like a flea market kind of thing. But I went in there, and if you were on the outside looking in, you wouldn't think much. These guys didn't dress up. There was no flair at all.
Yeah.
These, probably to this day, those guys were probably the best group of barbers. I've worked with some amazing people now, not to take away from those people.
Yeah.
They were probably the best barbers I'd ever seen, especially at that time.
And just by looking at them, you probably wouldn't assume that.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You probably maybe thought that you were in the wrong place, but those guys were amazing. I sat and I watched and I learned. Half of them didn't speak English, so there was a lot of you couldn't ask a lot of questions. I just had to watch what they were doing, how they did it, and I learned so much there. And I just kept going and going and going. I just never stopped. A good day at JJ's was like $250 in a week. Or a good week there was like $250. So I wasn't making tons of money. I wasn't really even making enough money to pay rent or anything like that. I still had to do little odd jobs. My dad owned he worked in a moving company at the time, and he would get me, some work on the weekends and stuff like that to be able to make it. But I went from there, and I just kept going. And when I say kept going, I mean I didn't switch. I think that's part of the industry. You get into a place, you feel like you outgrow it or whatever it may be, or maybe you want to just go see what else is out there. And I would do that. I would go. I'd work at a place. Maybe the vibe isn't right. Whatever it is.
Where are you staying at this time? Are you just hopping around from friend to friends, or how are you?
To be honest. Kind of, I get my own apartment. Once probably within my third barbershop, I had a steady income somewhere around $500 a week, or something like that, $400 or $500 a week, and I was able to kind of stabilize a little bit. But I was making a lot of personal bad mistakes. I was still doing drugs. This is pre-Liam, so this is pre my son being born, and I was doing kid stuff. I should have. I don't know. No regrets, right? But I was making some mistakes, but I was still focused on my career. I knew that I wanted to do this. There was a time there where I could have taken the easy way out and I could have accepted another job, but man, barbering encompassed everything that I wanted. It encompassed who I was. As a person, like I could be sociable. I'm a hyper dude. I don't like to sit down and things like that. I could kind of make my own hours, and I was not a guy to get up early, but I kind of forced myself to do it. JJ's traditionally wouldn't open up till 11 or 12, and I made myself get to work every day at 8 o'clock. I had to take a bus. I didn't own a car in Houston for probably like 7 years. So, whatever was going on,
You're in the trenches.
I was in the trenches, man. But I kind of saw a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. And I kept on going and met some really great people that were extremely influential. And I don't think anybody gets through this alone.
Right.
You want to, at the end of the day, sit back and go, hey, it was my hard work that I put in it. And that's absolutely true. But there has to be somebody there or something there that's kind of getting you going. Every once in a while, you need that. Hey, man, that was a good haircut. Hey, keep it up. You know what I'm saying?
So it keeps you coming back at the end of the day.
And so that's kind of the the genesis of how it started.
Well, so that being said, you went through the trenches. You had some kind of a rough spots that you were going through, and then fast forward to where you are now. You got Johnny B's going on in Nederland, and how do we get there? How do we get that opportunity to have your own place now?
Well, again, I go back to the birth of Liam Henry. When my son was born, I've had sole custody of my boy since I left the hospital with him.
Right.
And when I left there, this was during COVID. This was right in the middle of COVID. He was born in April. Working in all barbershops were closed, stuff like that. So I had to figure out what I was going to do. I talked to my stepfather. He was amazing guy. He's who I console with a lot of stuff. I had two amazing father figures in my life. My dad is an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. He owns his business. My stepfather, he instilled kind of this work ethic in me at a young age, pouring concrete and stuff like that. He's the one that encouraged me. I went to air conditioning school in high school and all this stuff. But anyways, he kind of told me, hey, do you think that you got this baby? Do you think that Houston is really where you want to stay? Is that really what you want to do? And I kind of had to have a talking to with myself, and I said, I think the best thing for me would be to go back to Mid-County, go back there. And I was nervous, man. Things were popping in Houston, of course. The 077, the 7077 where I was at, that area code there was probably 60, 70 barbershops in that little area. And I was nervous to move back here, to be quite frank, where most everybody has a baseball hat on. And I was like, well,
shots fired by Johnny.
No, a little. But I'm more of a do-rag guy. Yeah. So anyways, I came out there. I came out here. I was nervous about doing it. When I Googled barbershop in this area at that time, there was one place that I saw that kind of looked similar to anything that I'd be interested in, and that was Spruce Barbershop. And so I reached out to
Miss Brooke.
Brooke Bellinger, man.
Shout out to you, Brooke.
Yeah, she gave me an opportunity. If I touch on that a little bit, I would say in Mid-County, after being here, I've been here now for about 5.5 years. I would say that her having that vision and seeing the possibilities. I think she had told me sometimes she went to Austin or something. She was cutting hair. She had saw that concept somewhere, and she wanted to bring it back home. And thank God she did, man. That I don't know if I would have stayed. She
was really successful.
She was massive
in her tenure with that.
Hey, I never worked at a shop before hers that was as busy as hers. Mm-hmm. Our first day back, we opened up like at 8 a.m. I think we got out of there at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I had never cut that much hair at school. No matter where I was, I had never cut that much hair before in my life. That place was that was a big one, dude.
Yeah.
And towards the end of it,
I remember there being a little. Yeah. I think I was in there a couple days. I remember there being a little friction between you guys.
I don't know if it's fair to call it friction. I just think that when you have two strong-headed people, she had a vision for what she wanted to do. Hey, people come to my barbershop all the time and say, hey, you should do this, you should do that. And what's yours is yours, and you want to put your stake in the ground and kind of, hey, this is where I want to go. And what she wanted to do and what I wanted to do maybe had been a little bit separated. I still give her all the credit in the world for getting me out here and everything else, but I needed to go do my thing.
Yep.
I needed to go create something that was more along the lines of what I want to do. I knew I wanted to do a lot of charity stuff. I wanted to do free haircut events. Mm-hmm. When I first came out here, I was big, I'm still big on that, to where it's like, hey, do you have a cause? Or that's why I love living here, man. It's so cool living here. I did some charity stuff in Houston, and Houston's so big that often it would fall on deaf ears, kind of. Not any fault of theirs, but it's just such a big place. Yeah. But out here, man, if something's wrong, dude, we'll sell some links, baby. We'll sell some, we'll sell some, you want to buy some links, dude?
Like that guy outside of Dillon's where I was talking about, not Crockett Street the other day in my episode I was talking about, selling links in Boudin for $10. He's on a yacht somewhere right now, like I said.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
Man. But I love that.
Yeah.
I came out here and I was like, hey, I'll do anybody has something that's struggling, man, I'll go out there, I'll do some free haircuts for them. And then I was blessed, man. I met Patrick Head This guy.
It's a bad dude.
Oh, dude, he could. Yeah, he's a killer, man. He's a great person. He's just as strong. He's one of those guys just strong inside as he's out.
Yeah.
And he gave me a humongous opportunity. There would be no such thing as Johnny B's Barbershop. I will say that unequivocally. I was raising a baby by myself. I did not have the money to go and get a place. And this guy said, hey, I've got this room. Don't ask me for $1. I'm not going to put anything in it. He's like, but here it is.
Yeah.
Here's your
do what you want with it.
Dude, he gave me the deal of a lifetime.
Yeah.
He knew that, I wasn't bankrolling at the time. He made me an incredible deal on how much the rent was and everything else. And literally, man, I started in there with nothing. I was there by myself for about a year or so before I brought anybody in.
Yeah.
I had a fold-out white table. I had no floors in there. People remember that were going in there
from the beginning.
I broke out concrete out of there, and people would walk through rubble literally as I was fixing the floors, painting the walls. Cole Beck was he was awesome. He came in.
Those are your OG customers right there that remember the old days like that, walking through all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Those guys still come in and they'll be like, oh, because now it's green. I went another route, but Cole originally came in and he did all this graffiti for me because we couldn't really figure out what to do. Mm-hmm. And I knew he was an amazing artist. He came in and did some graffiti for me. I did a big mural in the front, aliens and all this other kind of stuff. And literally, I would take any money that I had left over. Never been a bar guy, never been a sneaker guy, never been a jewelry dude. So anything I had left over after taking care of me and Liam, I put it back in that barbershop. I bartered. There were a couple people that I bartered with that, hey, I'll cut your hair for free. I'll do whatever it takes, man. And I had some people come in that were amazing that really, it takes a village. And I owe a lot to those people that came in the beginning.
Right.
And got this thing rolling, man. I kind of had the vision and
And that's the thing is like people don't understand that aren't listening right now. The people, they see you just successful with your barbershop right now, and they think that you might have just went in there, rented a building, and started cutting hair, and there it was. But they don't know the time and effort you put in. You're sleeping on people's couches. You're getting bus rides to places. You went through the grind, my brother, and that's something special, brother. I
appreciate that.
Real talk, just outside of all this, like that's something special what
Thanks
you've done to get where you're at right now, and that's pretty cool. Well,
but everybody goes through. There are single moms out there that put themselves through college.
Yeah,
we all go through. No one has a success story where they were like, hey, it just kind of fell in my lap and this happened. If you're
gonna go through the peaks and valleys of
you got to strive,
everything.
man. You got to strive. You got to work hard.
That being said, there's times where I get a little hairy on my episodes. We bring up a hair drama, just a little bit on each episode. I'm gonna bring up just a little bit, muy poquito. I just got back from Colombia a couple months ago. I know Spanish.
There's no excuse for that.
I remember getting my popcorn out and watching a little bit of drama unfold with Johnny B's Barbershop. And it was, I don't know who it was, and I really don't know who it was, but I saw it on Facebook. It was probably a friend of mine. It was a post, and they were talking about Johnny B was supposed to give all the state football team free haircuts for life, and my kid didn't get his free haircut, and there was some drama. I had my popcorn out, like I said, and I wanted to give you the floor a little bit. I never even heard you respond to it, and I just wanted to hear what you had to say. There's two sides to every story, so what's your thoughts on that?
I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, this guy, this, and this person said that.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, if he would have reached out to me and said, hey, my boy came in there, he didn't get his free haircut, then I would have made sure 100%. There is not any free event. I'm doing free haircuts right now, August 1st through kids start school. There's never been a time where I didn't fulfill. I can honestly say that I've never fulfilled my commitment as saying, hey, I'm going to do something for free, and I didn't do it. What I would like to think what happened is that about 2.5 years ago, I started requiring you to put your debit card in.
Okay.
I had some guys I had some plumbing issues. Brown Plumbing came out. They were awesome. They're out there. It's hot. It's hot outside. I walk out there, and these guys kind of scruffy beard, scruffy hair. I said, hey, man, you guys ought to come to the barbershop, get a free haircut. I own a barbershop. And, Bay's heard me do it a ton of times. But
big shout out to Bay.
Big shout out.
Wherever she's at.
Who knows?
Big shout out to Bay out there.
Yeah. So I offer these guys a haircut, and I'm like, hey, look, with that, though, it's free, but I still require a debit card for you to book the appointment. Your card will not be charged, but you still have to hold the appointment because the fact is that I am booked up. I am a barber that I get a lot of haircuts. Today I did 23 haircuts. And
time is money.
Yeah, time is money, If you're going to come get a free haircut, you show up whenever you say you're going to show up, I can guarantee you that haircut's free. These 12 and under, I had people messaging me that, hey, I'm still having to put my debit card in. What's up with that? It's trying to charge me. It does not.
And I'm sure they made a post about that too. I've whatever.
Somewhere out there, maybe, I don't know. But, I always encourage, hey, come to me. People out here, anything. I see a lot of people kind of anonymously or whatever else, they'll kind of have a complaint. It's like, well, did you go just straight to the keyboard wars, or did you go to the person, and try to address it, But anyways, yeah, I mean, you do have to put in the debit card, and that can sometimes be misleading. I've had people come in and they're like, hey, man, I already paid. I put my debit card in. And I have to explain, no, you haven't paid yet because I haven't charged the card yet. Right. So, that's probably what happened there. It's probably just miscommunication.
That's something I just wanted to dive into because, like I said, I was keeping up with that going, oh, this is getting hairy right here. Little did I know I'd be talking to you about it a year or so later.
Also, I don't have a roster of everybody that was on that football team. I don't have pictures of the team. If you come in gray hair.
And don't abuse it. If you're about 42 and come in here and say you're on the 2023 team. Johnny's probably not going to give you a free haircut.
I'll have to question
He's going to have to see some ID.
Yeah, a little bit.
Might have to trivia him. Who was your coach?
It was a Billy Madison situation. I don't know. I don't judge anybody. But, if you come in and young guys, they're shy. People don't want to come in and say, hey, man, you said it would be a free haircut. I get that, man. Nobody wants charity. Nobody wants to ask for it, but at the same time, the kind of squeaky wheel gets the.
Bring it up to you. At least let you know.
Hey, let me know.
Y'all hearing that? If y'all are watching now, let Johnny know. Hey, I was on that state team.
Absolutely, man. They could fill up my book all next week. The whole team, the coaching staff. I've had a lot of coaching staff that still come in, and sometimes a lot of those guys they don't. I have like this thing that's kind of caught on where I don't accept tips. I ask for what I get what I ask for. And, a lot of times those guys, it happened today. I did 4 back-to-school haircuts today. And every one of them objected to it. They were, oh, man, no, let me pay you. Well, now everybody's got debit card. Hey, dude, you're not paying for it. It is what it is. But, so I do those, and then people still try to, hey, let me give you something for it, whatever else. But, yeah, again, if you don't say anything about it, there's no way for me to know. Right. But whoever that person was, if they feel like they were wronged or anything like that, I'm telling you right here, right now, that I said I would do it. I'm going to do it. Yep. I'll do it forever until you're
man of his word.
Do it anymore.
Let's go, Johnny B.
Absolutely.
Come on now, man. So going back to last week, I know we're getting off topic a little bit. We'll get back, but going back to last week, there was some legends that were lost, and both these guys were big in my childhood. Me and you were about the same age, big in your childhood. All of our buds, all the people we went to school with. We lost Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
We lost Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
And brother Hulk. I mean, that dude was you can't tell me every little kid didn't have a little Hulk. I think I had the little stretch Hulk. I mean, I had all the stuff, the little stuffed animals, all that. Hulk was the man.
Oh, yeah.
And
my dad was so jealous of Hulk.
Was Hulk big with you growing up? I mean, we all watched wrestling as kids.
Huge, man. I loved wrestling. I think I can honestly say my dad was in the Navy, and we were in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And it was mostly me and my mom, and I was obsessed with wrestling. I could honestly say that Hulk Hogan was probably my very first hero figure. I mean, I ripped so many shirts. We didn't have a lot of money, man, and I ripped so many shirts apart. My dad's like, all right, dude, you're wearing We don't have.
You're going to school with that ripped shirt now.
You got your little 3-year-old nips hanging out. You're wearing it, dude. You're the Hulkster. All right, brother. You just ripped another shirt up.
Yeah.
But I was a fanatical.
We only bought you 9 shirts and you ripped 7 of them, Johnny.
Absolutely,
okay,
man.
You're gonna have to fend for yourself.
Yeah, I didn't take my vitamins like he suggested. I love that guy.
And then, not only did that happen, and I'm not sure which order it went down in. Then we lose Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
And that's another guy. It was a big deal to me, but I know it probably hit you a little harder. You're big into the music industry and all that right there. So was that another tough loss for you on that side of things as well?
Yeah, that one was different because that brought up memories.
2 different losses, of course. Like
two different losses.
Yeah.
You know, the Hulkster was more of my childhood, and I had a really good friend of mine. He was like a brother. He passed away not too long ago, but we would go to his. He was a big vinyl record collector. And we would always, music trivia, you know, any band I've ever been into, I got to know everything about it.
Yeah.
I remember he asked me, he was like, hey, man, what's your favorite Sabbath album? And I was like, oh, I hadn't really digested that yet. And he was, oh, dude, I offended my friend. You know, he's like, oh, how can you claim...
You're not a real Ozzy fan.
Yeah, well, you're not a real music fan. You know,
Yeah.
you're not. And now Volume 4, that's one of my favorite records of all time. The Randy Rhoads era of his solo stuff that he did. But yeah, man, that was... whenever I got that first, he let me borrow that record, that first Sabbath record. And those, man, if you haven't listened to Sabbath, yeah, you know, now I can't get into metal now. I tried. It's I don't know. It doesn't have that kind of to where I can nod my head to
Maybe
it.
when you were younger, it hit a little different.
I don't know, dude. You can nod your head. I don't care. There's a lot of hip hop guys. I remember Redman, Method Man. Mm-hmm. They were huge Sabbath fans. And, you know, I was kind of always kind of like, what's up with that kind of thing? But after listening to them, those albums, man, Tony Iommi and those riffs that he created, oh, dude, it was amazing, man.
Yeah.
That was yeah. Hey, I will say this, he lived a lot longer than what people probably predicted, dude. Yeah.
And here's my thing, Ozzy Osbourne. Because I remember, what was the show? Was it the Osbournes?
The Osbournes.
Yeah, watching that show when we were younger, too. The guy could barely talk. I couldn't understand what the heck he was saying. He was mumbling. Sharon. That's all I could hear. But then he would sing, and it was night and day. I mean, how can you not talk, but you can go sing, and it just be unreal?
Oh, and he was from Birmingham, too. I don't know if you know.
And he's not talking about Birmingham, Alabama, either.
No, dude, Birmingham or whatever they pronounce it over there. But he already had a disadvantage. That's a really hard dialect to understand. And then plus all the toxins this guy put in
Had a couple toxins in his body.
More than a sauna could fix this guy's toxins, dude. He was loaded, man. That cool story where he snorted the ants with Skid Row. I think it was against Tommy.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Snorting ants. You'd think they'd be just freaking biting your brain off because what?
That's the original Ant-Man, dog.
So R.I.P. to those two. We actually lost a third last week too because there's people that always say, Trent, people die in threes, which I think's a little weird comment because there's people dying all over the world.
Absolutely.
So when people try to group these 3 together, there's people that died in Indonesia and Australia and China and all kinds. There's people that are dying all over the place. So people die in threes. Y'all quit saying that. But that was the guy from the Cosby Show.
Yeah,
that died too.
Show.
We lost 3 celebrities last week. R.I.P. to those guys.
Yeah. I love the Cosby Show. Were you a Cosby Show fan?
I did watch. I watched a little Cosby.
Yeah,
I watched a little Cosby.
Sucks what happens later on.
Yeah, you find out a little bit about those guys later on. Yeah. That's.
But that show, that was a big deal. I remember that, like Family Matters and those sorts of stuff. But yeah, that was the way he passed away too, swimming in the ocean or whatever.
He drowned. I don't know I don't know the details of how he died. I think something about his 8-year-old daughter was in a bind or something, and I don't know if he tried to rescue her. I didn't really follow up on it that much, but yeah, he drowned. That's a sad deal. But I want to talk about Johnny B real quick here. And people know you from being in that studio. They know you from cutting hair. Same with me. What's happening out of that studio? What's Johnny B doing on a weekend? What's Johnny B doing when he's not cutting hair?
I'm so boring, man. I'm so boring. But hey, the beautiful part about being a barber I think when people come in, they see me as a social type of guy. I don't know.
And I think you are.
Well, you go out. I mean, have you ever seen me?
I don't see you.
Okay.
I don't see you anywhere. I ain't really seen you since that out in 8th grade when you were rapping to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and
Eminem Jr.
so I. Oh man, you keep bringing that up. Keep bringing it up.
Johnny's like, I thought we were done with that.
No,
Cut it
that's
out.
fine. That's fine. Hey, that's a testament. I hadn't heard that.
But you know it's true. That's why you're laughing.
Hey, Battle of the Bands in high school, man.
Yeah.
I was rapping on that.
Come on now.
I couldn't play an instrument. That was the only way I could get in. Man. That was I couldn't sing a lick. But no, man, I'm kind of.
I mean, are you out golfing? Are you barbecuing? What are you doing?
I hate to use that cliche, man, but since Liam, I've got the dorkiest woman in the world with me. I have this fantastic person, Bay.
Bay, she is pretty dorky. Wherever Bay is at.
Yeah. She's
pretty dang dorky.
Yeah, absolutely.
According to Johnny.
She's a huge book nerd. I love that about her. She, so I like to spend time with my family, man. That's what I like to do. That's what my Facebook stories. People ask me that, like, you post everything. You're always taking videos of your food and stuff like that. But I think that's important because when people come in, people around this area, people everywhere, really, they work their ass off for the money that they make. Mm-hmm. And I kind of put everything out there, in part for the memories, so I can keep it. I love those Facebook, hey, a year ago this was happening or whatever else. But I also like to show, hey, when you come in and you pay $35 for your haircut, I'm not. Not to put that down or that, but I'm not buying sneakers. I'm not a jewelry guy. I'm not doing that, man. My money goes towards my family. We just went on the biggest vacation. I've never been on vacation.
You've been traveling a little bit.
Did some traveling.
I've been seeing you travel.
Absolutely. That was kind of a testimony I made whenever Liam was first born, is that I was like, hey, I'm going to show this young man America. I wanted to show him how beautiful this country is.
And Liam's going on these trips.
Oh, Liam, Bay, her beautiful daughter Addie.
Okay.
It is amazing to have that team that I have to go do these things with. Mm-hmm. And it's a blessing. I cannot tell you, it sounds corny or whatever else, but every person that comes in, I can guarantee, I say to everybody that comes in here, thank you so much for coming in. I truly appreciate it. That's not in vain, and that's not I don't just say that. That's not just lip service. I really do, man. Everybody that comes in, it's more than a haircut. You're helping me support my family. That's a humongous deal, and that's for everybody. You go out and you're a business owner. It's a humongous risk. There's no guarantee of that paycheck. I stay pretty booked up. I do fairly well, but it's a risk. Every week it's a risk. And, there's guys out there that own restaurants that, I've got a good friend of mine that owns a restaurant, and that takes a lot. You go out there and you're trying to do that. I appreciate wholeheartedly, everybody that comes in that's allowing me to do that. That's why I put that stuff on Facebook, man. Me cooking my meals and doing all that stuff. Hey, look, you want to see where your money's going that you're working hard for? It's probably going the same place yours is going. Mm-hmm. I'm out here. I'm just a dude, man. I'm just trying to support my family. I'm not a bar guy.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking. I'm proud to say I'm 6 months. Not a drop of alcohol. Little.
Congratulations,
little
brother.
Mouthwash here and there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm drinking all the beer that Johnny quit drinking.
You can have it, dude. You can have it. And hey, look. Also, we have a neighbor. He's a great guy. We just met him.
Yeah.
He likes to toss a few back every once in a while, and when I meet somebody, I'm like, I felt awkward about that. It's like, hey, look, I don't drink. I'm not saying that like look.
You're not looking down on it.
No, it's not.
It's just not for you anymore.
I've had my share, man. In my 20s, I didn't never. When I say I partied, I didn't go to clubs and bars and stuff like that. I've never just been that type of guy. All my social stuff gets done in the barbershop. I have my 30-minute time or hour time with that person. Mm-hmm. I get it out, man. That's enough for me. My whole deal is spending time with my family, and drinking wasn't it, man. That just didn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fitting the part of that puzzle. I stopped. I don't. Smoking pot, none of that stuff, man. None of my money goes towards any of that stuff.
Clean as a whistle.
I'm kind of boring, dude.
Yeah.
Bay reads her books, and
you're not as boring as Bay though. Reading books
I don't know
every
anybody
day.
that's as boring as Bay, dude. That is
Bay, wherever you're.
Oh God.
Wherever you're at, Bay.
Where are you at?
You're boring.
You're boring.
But
Yeah.
so
I play piano. To answer your kind of question, a lot. You know,
you're gonna play some piano.
I've been studying. I studied music theory. I stopped playing guitar when Liam was born.
Okay.
I played guitar since I was about 13 years old.
Okay.
But the association I made with guitar was drugs and that sort of thing. So literally when Liam was born,
Kind of wanted to get away from it.
I put it away. But now that I have this beautiful family, I've got this supportive woman in my life. She's taken a big load off my shoulders as far as, you know, the day-to-day stuff that I have to do. And it's allotted me time while she's reading, you know, somebody get murdered. She loves people. She loves watching and reading about people being murdered. Yeah. So I'm in the room. I'm in the room practicing.
Well, if anything ever happens to you, Johnny, I'll have an idea.
Out there.
Okay.
All right. She probably knows a million ways to.
Hopefully, Bay's not watching this. So
wherever she's at.
Wherever she's at, Bay.
But she's in the living room reading her book, you know, and I spend any free time that I have now. That's what I do, man.
Yeah.
I like a calm, simple, you know. That's what I'm about.
So tell me about this. I know you have, you know, a good relationship with the family, of course, and you're a big family guy. But in the barbershop, when I go in there and see you and visit you, you're having a good time with your people. And I've noticed that not every barber's always having a good time with their person. I never see you having a bad time with the person you're in there with. I don't care who it is. You're cutting up with the person. You're having a good time, and you're giving them your full attention. I like that about you. Are you guys kind of like a therapist? Seriously. Because I'm sure not everybody's happy-go-lucky coming in there to get their hair cut every day. You probably hear some stories maybe that you don't want to hear. You run into some people that are probably going through some stuff. And I feel like you guys are kind of therapists at times.
A little bit, you know. I mean,
it's not what you signed up for, but it's just part of the.
Hey, it's part of the gig.
Part of the gig.
It's part of the gig. It's just as important as the haircut. You know, it's. I mean, I do my absolute best with a haircut. Sometimes some guys go in there and they've got something they want to get off their shoulders.
And you hear some stories in there.
I hear some stories. As I've gotten older, though, you know, you get yourself in a little trouble. Somebody comes in there complaining about their woman. You know, and you're going, hey, you deserve better, man. You ought to go right now and go leave that chick. And, you know, you don't want the residual. He might come back next week and be like, hey, dude, remember all those awful things? I'm glad I didn't listen to you, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that can kind of come back and bite you on the ass.
Exactly.
So I don't do that anymore. I used to when I was younger. Now I kind of listen. I might
observe a little bit.
I might give a little bit of perspective of, hey, you know, I was through something similar, man. I love the
back
advice.
When I was your age.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's getting there. Dude.
We're there.
Oh, it's getting there, dude. Oh man, it's.
We didn't walk uphill both ways barefooted though, did we?
No.
Okay.
No, but you
they
know,
don't know that.
I like the advice, the simple advice. I used to have a good friend of mine. His name was Don Barber. Wasn't a barber, but his name was Don Barber. And no matter, I'd go over to his place and I would complain. Oh man, I went out. You know, this happened and this situation occurred, and he always had the greatest little phrase. It's kind of a cliche, but he'd say, "Hey man, the best way to avoid a punch is to not be there." And I think that is.
Oh wow,
dude,
that's kind of deep.
I don't know how deep it is. It's not a Chinese proverb. But
Johnny's like, actually, it's not deep at all.
Hey, it covers some.
It's furthest from deep.
It covers some ground, man. A lot of times, a lot of problems in our lives, we tend to be, we attribute to that. A lot of times, I've had to learn that, man.
You don't want to admit it, but yeah, it's kind of you got some truth to it.
Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and go, "What's the origin of this situation?
What's the common denominator here?"
Yep,
What's
and a lot of times it's yourself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the extent of what I do. You know, but hey, a lot of times people help me out.
Right.
People come in there and they're confessing stuff or they're telling me things, and I get to share some of my, you know, whatever I'm going through, whatever I joke around about, you know, Liam's having a problem in daycare or whatever it is that's going on, and it works both ways, man. It's fantastic, you know. I love that dynamic.
Well, so you know, we're talking about the barbershop and all the details and the therapist and the things that we're doing with that. I've also, talking to you in the past, have learned that you're also you're a movie guy. You like to watch some movies. And just thinking off the top of my head, a new movie that just came out from our childhood again, Happy Gilmore. Have you got a chance to see Happy Gilmore 2? Have you seen it yet?
You kind of brought it up the other day, and I wanted to watch it so bad. But you know what, man? Hey, look, I basically have seen it. I have.
It's a great movie.
My sister, she works with me.
Either hate it or you love it.
My sister works with me, and she goes the other day, she goes, hey, have you seen Happy Gilmore? And I said, no, I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. And then she proceeded to tell me exactly how it ended. So I figured
you ruined it.
Actually, that's all right though.
You ruined it.
She's a goofball, I love her to death. But yeah. So but I kind of get the gist. People say there's a lot of cameos.
A lot of cameos.
Bad Bunny's the caddy or whatever else in it. So I kind of see probably where it's going or whatever. I don't think anything will ever be better than the original. Probably nothing's better.
It's hard to beat an original. On every movie that comes out, they want to make number 2 so good, but except this podcast. This podcast number 2 is better than the first one.
Definitely,
we did, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is
because you want to go ahead and spill the beans on that, Johnny.
Well,
go ahead and just call me out real quick. Johnny's about to roast me.
We had gold, man. We had gold. It was. I mean, we were changing the game. I said some things that, it's kind of...
That gave me PTSD a little bit because I'm looking at my phone right now like, don't happen again, please, don't happen again.
You familiar with Tenacious D?
Yes.
Okay, remember the tribute song?
Yes.
It's a tribute song to the greatest song in the world. This is not the greatest song in the world, but this is a tribute. We can't remember that song. So this is our tribute song. This is our, you said some things that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I said some things that were brilliant.
I mean, so long story short, guys, we ran out of storage on the first episode. When I say we, I mean me. My phone did, and it was an absolute nightmare. Kind of deleted everything, but we're not going to talk about that. We're on to bigger and better things right now. So
this is going way better.
No, it sure is. And I want to bring up something that I heard the other day, and I want your input on it. It was an article I read, and it said, would you put your best friend in prison for 2 years for $200 million? And I know it's an easy thing to say yes, but when I'm talking about the real deal, the real thing, you have to put a buddy of yours in prison for 2 years. It ain't as quick as you think.
No.
What's your answer, though? That being said,
oh man,
could you do it? And I'm not saying Bay. Well, Bay likes to read books. 2 years in prison, she could get
she would love it.
She could get some good books in.
She would love it. She would be in there. Yeah.
And she comes out with $200 million.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you do it?
$200 million?
It's for $200 million.
Oh, sweetheart, you're going to prison.
You get the $200 million.
You're going to well, she kind of.
I guess she gets a couple million out of that 200.
Let's admit it. She's going to get most all of it.
So is it happening? Is Faye going to prison? And I'm thinking about the guy, Matt. Shout out to Matt Morgan. He's, my best friend. I was, best man at his wedding, all that. Don't drop the soap, Matt. You're going to freaking prison, and you're going for 2 years. And you're coming out wealthy, and I know you're going to hate me. You're probably going to fight me when you come out, but I thought about it. I'm sending your butt to prison. And, I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because, 2 years, it's a long time to be in there.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. I heard somebody put that the other day out on Facebook.
I'm not your best friend. I wouldn't
send you out there,
I'm
Johnny.
not built for... Oh, you know what? People are like, hey, man, you could cut hair, but those guys cut hair with, it's a different...
They're cutting hair with, switchblades and stuff in there.
Exactly, man. I got tattoos of broccolis and stuff.
Another crazy thing that I wanted to bring up that's been happening to me, and I don't know what's going on, but work gave me this white SUV, so I have this white soccer mom vehicle now. And I guess it's because I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm not used to driving this vehicle yet. Johnny, I keep going into the wrong white SUV. It's happened 4 times in a row to me. I don't care what it is. There's my little Hyundai, and there'll be like a white Mercedes-Benz SUV 5 feet from me, and I'm going...
Wishful thinking.
Why can't I get in? And I'm hitting the unlock button, and a lady's like, sir, that's not your... It's happened 4 times to me. It's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, do I need to start checking in on myself to make sure, why am I've gotten into the wrong SUV 4 times. I'm keeping a little tally.
It's too much.
I think if I get to 10, I'm going to maybe have to go look into this, but I did remember when me and you met a long time ago. So memory's still there. I guess my long-term memory's still there at least.
I used to have a little Toyota Camry. It's the Toyota Camry you see a million times all over the place. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, I've beeped next to one of them. I used to do it a lot. And now I've got the Highland. I got the family vehicle now, so I don't make that mistake anymore. But yeah, that's too much.
I had a lady, I was trying to get in my SUV the other day, and I'm hitting unlock. She parked to the lane right next to me in the same vehicle, so I had an excuse here, and I'm hitting unlock. And I'm jerking on the thing, and I'm hitting unlock, and I look like a fool. And I hear, "Sir, that's the wrong vehicle. That's mine." And I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. That looks just like mine." And she's like, "You're right next to me." And I'm like, she goes, "Don't worry, it happens all the time to me." And I'm thinking in my head, "Ma'am, you're 87. Yeah. Okay, I'm in my 30s. You have an excuse. I don't. Okay." So
you got to double down. I would say, no, you've got the wrong. This is my Mercedes. Matter of fact, you have my keys. I would double. I'd memento.
Ma'am, that's actually my purse too.
Yeah.
So in my wallet.
You're living my life. Get out of here.
So anyways, that's been going crazy. But I also want to hit up on another subject. I hate to get off on other subjects, but
That's good.
Houston Astros. I don't know how big of a sports guy you are, but we just got Carlos Correa. As of yesterday, this is gigantic news. I'm super happy. I don't know what your thoughts are on in the whole sports world.
I'm a big
with
UFC
Astros.
guy. If I keep up with anything, I keep up with UFC. But I'm inherently a huge Astros fan. I like to go to the games. I'm a big.
And you know who Carlos Correa is.
Oh, of course.
So it's just so
Carlos
good to
Correa.
get this kid back.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And now
Run it back.
We're number one in the in our division right now.
Number one in the division. Yes, sir.
That's great.
Playing the Boston Red Sox actually as we speak right now. I don't know. In Boston. I don't know what the heck's going on. I hope we're winning. So that's a really cool thing that's happening right now.
Part of being a barber, I feel like I'm obligated. I kind of do this thing where I go through websites every morning, ESPN.
You got to know a little bit of everything because you don't know who's coming in there.
Well, I hate that somebody comes in. I don't know what they want to talk about, so I've got some common ground websites that I go to. So I kind of keep up with the headlines of kind of.
Because I'm going to come in. I'm going to want to talk a little sports.
Let's do it.
And if Johnny B's going, I don't know who Correa is.
Yeah.
Then, I'll have to pull out my book and just be like Bay and just be boring while you're cutting my hair. Not talk about sports. Bay. But guys, we're kind of getting close to wrapping this thing up right here. I really appreciate Johnny for coming out today. Like I said, I've been really looking forward to having him on the show. Johnny, you guys are hiring right now too, from what I understand too, right?
Yeah, I'm offering 1 month free booth rent. I've got some.
I wanted to make sure people knew about this.
I've got some stipulations though.
Okay.
I've tried for 4 years now to get somebody in to take walk-ins. And it just, people come in, they make a little bit of money, they start, I can't blame them. Nobody wants to be up there all day long, but I've got some stipulations to where you've got to work these certain hours. But yeah, you got a month to make as much money as you can and as much money as you want. And the phone is ringing, man. That is true. That I can honestly say. Our
You're gonna
phone
stay
rings.
busy.
You're gonna stay busy, man. You're gonna come in and get some experience. Hey, I've never shied away from trying to help somebody to get better at the craft. If they want that, I'll leave you alone if you don't want my advice or anything like that. But I'll also shoot you some haircuts. I hate it. That's a big thing with me, man. If you come in and you're not busy, or maybe we just don't have a lot of walk-ins that day.
Yeah.
Then sometimes I'll be 5-10 minutes behind on a haircut, and I'll if it's somebody brand new that I've never cut, then sometimes people might book a haircut. My name is the barbershop.
Right.
So they've never been there before. Inherently, they're going to pick, hey, let me go to Johnny B. He owns a shop. He cuts hair in there. I think I'm pretty notorious for going like, hey, man, if you didn't need me to do something, go to that person right there. They're excellent. I like to promote my people. I like to support that. I'm busy, dude. I'm good.
Right.
I'm fine.
So all that being said, if somebody wants to come see Johnny B. the barber, let them know where to go, where the address. I know we're in Nederland. Let the people know where to come see you. Yeah,
I'm at 605 North Twin City Highway, Nederland, Texas. I'm right. If you're headed towards Beaumont, I'm right past Boston Avenue on the left over there. I'm connected to Triangle Jiu-Jitsu. It used to be a bright orange stuff with aliens and stuff like that all over it. I've toned it down. I figured out my niche and my clientele base. A lot of guys my age, you're around 35 to around 55 years old.
Right.
I've toned everything down. I've got Johnny B's classic barbershop now painted on the wall. But yeah, it's still noticeable, still there. I got the barber pole out there. You know? But yeah, if somebody's looking for an opportunity, if a lot of times people will say, I've been trying to get my cousin or my brother to come see you, man, and he's got a barber he's been seeing, but I've been telling him he needs to come see you. Hey, look, man, I would not exist if it wasn't for people's loyalty. And I always say that, look, hey, man, your cousin likes who he gets his haircut from. Let him keep going. Yeah. If your cousin's barber's sick, I appreciate you letting him know where I'm at. But, I'm real big on that. You got a barber you love.
Stick with him.
Stick with them. Support locals. Hey, we have some amazing barbershops in Mid-County. Yeah. We've got some amazing tattoo shops. You do not have to go to Houston. You don't have to travel far to find talent where we are. And I love the fact that when I started Johnny B's Barbershop, it was me and 2 other shops. And now there's I think there's 7 within 5 miles. And, competition breeds growth, man. And I'm all about that. I love that sort of thing. I think we're established. People know who we are. Enough people know who I am. Yeah. We're good. I mean, not that, I love new clients. Don't get me wrong. I cut as much hair. I go to H-E-B all the time. I see people that I've never been to my shop before. But I'm also quick to compliment a haircut. Hey, I'm not a hater. If I see Bail see me do it. If I see a bag boy
wherever Bay's at.
Just the other day, our bag boy had an amazing haircut. I said, dude, whoever did that is great. Happenstance, his barber had just graduated barber school and was cutting hair out of his house. And I told the guy, hey, man, if that guy can do that, tell him to hit me up if he wants a good place to work. Right. There's a lot of talent around here. There's a lot of good food, a lot of good things going on in Mid-County, man. I love being out here.
Johnny, brother, I appreciate you being on the show,
awesome,
brother.
Man. Thank you.
I wish you the best. Like I said, I love it how you started from the bottom. Now you're here, and you're doing big things over there, and I wish you the best. Guys, this has been episode 4 with Johnny B. Thanks for tuning in to the Litterbox. Like, subscribe, follow, and show up here next Sunday for episode 5. We love y'all. See you next week. We out. Let's go, Johnny.
Later, brother.
All right.